On December 15th, 2012, two boys, each 17 years of age, were arrested for trespassing. They turned themselves in to the Boston police at district headquarters in a traumatized state. They were soon transferred to a local hospital where they were treated for radiation burns and minor injuries. It was at this point the incident came to the attention of Foundation personnel. The boys were self-styled urban explorers. Earlier in the evening, they had been exploring some homes and businesses in a dilapidated area known as the section. With GoPros in hand, Alan and Terrence practiced a bit of harmless breaking and entering. They filmed everything, wanting to be YouTube stars, which greatly helped with the investigation. They were in the living room of an abandoned home when they smelled something strange. They described a faintly sweet odor with a hint of motor oil. It drew them to the basement, where they found a door. The odor was stronger here. There was the faint sound of machinery. Angling their flashlights through the suspicious-looking metal grill anchored in the upper third of the door illuminated the walls of an empty passage on the other side. After some debate, they opened the door. They went down the passage. After about 30 feet, it turned to the right, leading them to a room. The smell was stronger here, and the sound a little louder. While they discussed what to do next, something moved in the darkness. Cautiously entering the room, they found the source of the noise. Their flashlights revealed a small metal box. It was about 10 inches wide and almost 2 feet long. A wide metallic tread protruded from opposite sides of the box, and rivets lined the corners and edges of the squat, asymmetrical device. Its flat sides bore indicator lights, meters, and small switches. Along the angled top, oddly shaped hatches broke the smooth metal surface. It moved. The treads rotated. Dust ground under metal, and the thing crept forward about 6 inches. Then it paused. Then it moved again in the opposite direction until it reached the starting point, where it paused again. As the boys watched, it repeated this motion several times. For a moment all was still, and then Al stepped forward and pulled a large splinter out of the tread mechanism. Terry can be heard expressing concern. After a moment, the box, designated SCP 1461-B1, moved again, exiting the room. The boys followed. They found themselves in some kind of workshop packed with machinery. At the rear of the room was a long assembly line. Gears clicked, belts whirred, fluid gurgled through overhead pipes. This was the source of the sound they had followed. Most disturbing were the workers who tended this line. They looked like corpses that had been hollowed out and fitted with a variety of mechanical parts. Many of them had large glass jars of glowing green fluid in their abdominal cavities. Some of the jars had eyeballs in them and other objects floating about. These creatures moved in short, jerking motions like machines that needed lubrication. Their faces were mutilated. Where the mouth should have been was a mass of puffy, swollen tissue that appeared to be stapled shut. The eyes were universally missing, the empty sockets plugged with some kind of black tar-like substance. Their arms and hands were modified and featured a variety of saws, scythes, knives, hammers, and other implements. All had a brown box protruding from their midsection. The edge of what looked like a phonograph record stuck out of the front of the box. For a moment the boys gaped at the strange sight. The box in the belly of the nearest one vibrated, and the phonograph record spun up. As they backed out of the room, the boys heard the following message, presumably from a hidden speaker of some kind in the creature's chest.
These violent deeds have violent ends. I am beauty, and I am chaos. I am the worm.
After a brief but terrifying flight, the two urban explorers escaped the sub-basement and exited the abandoned house. Al and Terry survived 3 days before succumbing to severe radiation burns. The location of the anomaly was identified and searched by Foundation personnel. The boys' video made identification of the house easy, but investigators found nothing in the cellar but a pile of moldy furniture. There was no door, and no indication of a door. There was no sign an opening in the brick walls had ever been made. Sections of wall were removed and the soil tested. There was unusual levels of radiation present, levels that were anomalous to the surrounding area. Though unusual, the radiation did not appear to be dangerous to humankind at the current level. The Foundation has moved forward under the working theory that there is a connection between this anomalous manifestation and SCP-1461, the House of the Worm. The property was purchased by the Foundation to facilitate containment and is continuously monitored. A man and a woman, Foundation agents codenamed Metro Family, maintain the location, which is currently designated SCP-1461-B. More information can be found in the latest SCP-1461 Addendum material